In this video, I'm going to show you how to grab people's attention in your videos if you're using your videos for marketing purposes. Now, the reason why you need to listen all the way to the end is because if you do not grab people's attention, you will not be able to sell them anything, which means you will not make money, right? And in case you're wondering who I am, my name is Imran ibn Mansur. I am a student of Islamic knowledge and I'm also an entrepreneur. And I have generated, with Allah's permission, over 53 million plus views on my videos on YouTube. And that's not taking into account the tens of millions on TikTok and Instagram and so on and so forth, right? And what have I done with these views? I've used these views for my da'wah to help fill up the masjid, and I've also used them for my businesses to help bring in over $3 million in sales for my courses primarily and some other stuff as well. And currently I'm teaching Muslims who sell courses online or have coaching services online to scale to 7 figures. And if you want to learn more about how you can get your hands on a piece of that 7-figure pie, then watch to the end of the video, inshallah ta'ala. I promise I won't disappoint. I'll show you how you can gain access to that stuff. But without any further ado, how do you hook people's attention in? So when it comes to a video online, right, especially if this is what your marketing depends on, organic social media strategy, you need to make sure that you grab people's attention with the title and the thumbnail before they even watch the video. And then once they've clicked on the video, you have to grab their attention within the first few seconds. Now, some say the first 30 seconds, some say the first 5 seconds, okay? And there's research and studies to show blah, 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 all of that. And then I'm not gonna get into that because the point here is that you need to grab their attention in the beginning straight away. So I'm gonna talk to you about how to come up with a title that grabs people's attention. And I'm also gonna tell you about how to come up with a hook at the beginning of the video that keeps them engaged so that they can stay long enough to buy from you and to give you money with Allah's permission. Now, I will not be focusing on the imagery of the thumbnail. As you can see here behind me, these are some of the thumbnails for my videos that I've done on our YouTube channel. These are just recent, literally just come out over last couple of days. I'm not gonna show you about the imagery because I might make a specific separate video on that. There's a few more nuances connected to how to come up with a good thumbnail. But what I will do, inshallah, is focus on the title here, right? I'm gonna focus on the first few seconds of the videos. Pay attention. Sometimes you might put titles in the thumbnail itself. So this is gonna benefit for your thumbnails regardless, inshallah ta'ala, okay? Khair. With that said, let's talk about the titles. Now, I wanna just qualify this a little bit further, right? Before we even go into that. This is really important, bro. And you need to make sure you get this. Why? Because if you spend all this time creating a beautiful video that's got all of this value that's going to help change people's lives, and hopefully if they get to the end, they'll buy something from you, right? It's irrelevant if they didn't even watch the video. Or if they watched it and they clicked away straight away because they thought this is not going to be beneficial for me. So you have to go through this. Me and my team go through our titles and thumbnails, and we spend more time on it than we do on the actual course content. 100%. We spend more time, more physical time, like actual minutes, right, and hours on putting together the title than we do on putting together the course content or coming up with the course content, right? Sometimes we spend days, sometimes weeks on just the title. And if you think you spent enough time on the title, you haven't. Whatever time you think is appropriate to spend on the title, go spend 10 times more than that. Spend 10 times more than that. Just really quickly, if you're a course creator or a coach, are you confused about how to scale your business to 7 figures? If so, you might be even more confused as to how we managed to scale our courses to 3 million plus whilst we were seeking knowledge and giving da'wah full time. And you might be even more confused to see all of these brothers here that you can see on screen, how I've been helping them use the exact same formula for their businesses to scale their course and coaching services. We're seeing crazy results. Brothers are doubling their income in the first 2.5 weeks. Some brothers making 5x in the first week that they've been working with us. Some brothers doubling their monthly recurring revenue in just 2 days. So alhamdulillah, the fruits are there and I want to share them with you, inshallah ta'ala. I know you've been working hard building your course, your coaching program, but you want to get to 7 figures so you can earn back your time to worship Allah, seek knowledge, spend the money that you make for Allah's sake, spend time with your family and create wealth for the next generation with Allah's permission. So for that reason, I'm going to show you and share with you the 7 steps that I've outlined to 7 figures that we did, that we implemented to get to 3 million plus. I'm going to share this with you and give you access to this on the 23rd of this month on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. UK time. Just go to the link below right now. Just quickly go right now and register your interest. Save your seat before you miss out. This is going to be the biggest event in the Muslim entrepreneurial space, inshallah ta'ala. And I have made a promise to make every person who misses it regret not turning up. So with that said, we'll see you there. Trust me, you will see the rewards of it, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so with that said, how do I come up with a great title for a video? So There's a two-step process that I go through. The first step of the process is I ask myself, what style of attention grabbing do I want to have in this title? And there are usually 4 styles, right? Then after I come up with a style, I then refine it. I go through a framework of refinement. I'll talk about how to refine it in a second, but firstly, what are the styles? Now, there are many styles, and I stick to 4, and these 4 have worked for me, alhamdulillah. Number 1, make the title recent, or make it relevant, or make it one that has conflict in it, or make it shocking. Shocking. These are 4 ways to grab people's attention. Look, recency grabs people's attention because if something just happened today, last week, last month, or in the last hour, and you make a video about it, that grabs people's attention, right? Because it's recent. It's something that everyone's already focused on. So you're benefiting off the wave of where people's attention already is. People are already paying attention to that thing, and you're saying, hey, guess what? I've got something to say on it as well, right? The second thing is make it relevant. Now, Brother Sufyan, who's holding the camera right now, who's half Austrian, half Chinese, revert, right? Who currently lives in Dubai. Imagine he saw a video that said, Sufyan, half Austrian, half Chinese brother who lives in Dubai and creates content, this video's for you. Would he click it? Billah Ali. If you saw a video that was that relevant to you, that specific to you, would you watch it? Of course you would. Now, of course, when you create that type of content, you're not trying to make it specific for just one person. You want to make it specific for a particular group, but the point still stands. That if you can describe in the title relevancy towards a specific person and their pain and their problem, right? They are more likely to click on that video because you made it more relevant to them. Then the next thing is shocking, right? Of course, something shocking, something unusual, something outside of the ordinary will grab people's attention. And then the last thing is conflict. And I don't think I need to qualify that, right? That conflict grabs people's attention. People are always more interested in us versus them, this versus that, this or that, right? So in terms of business, like, should Muslims be wealthy or poor? Right? Already some of you getting frustrated and having strong feelings about that, right? If you're a PT, you might say, is being fat un-Islamic, for example, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you might come up with all of these type of interesting ways to grab people's attention, and then in the end, you're gonna, obviously, once you've hooked them, you're gonna give them the value that they need, right? One thing I want to mention here, that sometimes, because you're selling, you're creating content to make money. You're not creating content to get views, right? You might not get a lot of views. That doesn't mean that the title was bad, right? It might have got the attention of the right audience, and the right audience is actually very valuable because they're converting, giving you money, and that's fine because you're judging this based on how much money you made from that content, not how many views you got. Because you're not here to get famous, you're here to make money for the sake of Allah, just so you can use that money for your family and some other khair, some other greater benefit. I just want to mention that as a point there, because you might say, oh, I did it and it was too relevant, it was too specific, and now, I'm not going to do that. And then you chase views, but then you're broke. And I can't explain to you how many people I know that have got millions of views and followers, but they're broke. And people who hardly get any views, but they got P's, they got big bank accounts, right? The second thing I do is, once I've come up with that title based on one of these 4 frameworks, one of these 4 styles, I will refine it. And when I refine it, I always want to ask myself, I always want to make sure that the title ticks 3 boxes. Number 1, is the title specific? Is the title general? And is the title emotional? I want to make sure all 3 things are there. You might say that's a bit of a contradiction. How can you make something specific and general at the exact same time? Well, very easy to make it specific and general at the exact same time. Specific here means with regards to specific details that you might mention. General means that you want to make it interesting enough for it to benefit people that are slightly outside of your demographic. But so you want to make sure that you don't make this video, you don't want to make the title so general that your demographic doesn't feel like it's for them. But at the same time, you don't want to make it so specific that it doesn't grab the attention of anyone outside of your demographic, because they may benefit off this as well. For example, I'm here talking to course creators, right? Like I teach people, Muslims who sell courses online, how to make money, right? How to scale to 7 figures. And also coaches come into that. But you might have a business that's like e-commerce or something completely, totally different. Be watching this video and still be finding value and think, okay, cool, this brother knows what he's talking about. And then I might even inspire you to put your own course together on how to make money through e-commerce sites online, right? That might happen. So you want to make sure there's a degree of generality, but you don't want to be too general. and you don't want it to be too specific. So it's got to have that element of specificity, but also you got to leave enough of a gap to be able to bring in someone else who can benefit and possibly become a customer a few, days down the line, later on down the line. And then you want to make sure there's some type of emotional appeal, and an emotion here has to be an emotion that brings about action. I don't want to get too detailed in this, but not all emotions bring about action. Some people will make you emotional, but that emotion brings about inaction. For example, a very terrible emotion to invoke in people is sadness, because sadness doesn't make you act. If you make people sad, they will not take action. Right? There's research that backs this. But if you make people angry, they'll take action. Right? If you make people anxious, scared, they'll take action. If you make people inspired, they will take action. If you make people laugh, they'll take action. So you want to invoke an emotion that brings about action, and it could be a positive or negative emotion. For example, anger is negative, right? Anxiety, fear is negative, but it brings about action. And positive, emotions are, for example, inspire them, wow them, or humor them. These are positive emotions, but the point is that they bring about action. So let's just look at the videos on my channel here very quickly, right? Again, I'm not even going to show you like the most popular, because if I go into the most popular videos, you're going to see million, hundreds of thousands of views, whatever have you. But not every video gets millions and hundreds of thousands of views, right? Even though it does happen pretty regularly for us, alhamdulillah, the 100k views. But it's not even about the views, right? It's about grabbing the attention of the right demographic. So here, the end of Nasiha sessions. So we've currently just rebranded our channel to Righteous and Rich. So I put this out, the end of Nasiha sessions. That's shocking. That's shocking for people, right? That's shocking. Like, it's ending. Like, I grew up watching this. You know what's going on? So there's that. You can also see here this one, how to make 100k plus flipping whips. So flipping whips, it's got the specificity there. It's also shocking, right? It's also shocking. It's got the element of shock, right? It's also got the element of relevancy if you're a businessman. Flipping, like selling cars, making money selling cars. Is that specific? That's specific. But what's general? 100k. People want to know how to make money. So that's general. The how to make 100k. That part is general. Do you understand? Mosque invited me to an event with a DJ and dancing. But that's shocking, and that's conflict. What? Right? And as you can see in there, there's emotion, anger, right? You feel angry when you read something like that. There's also the element of generality is there, because this is something that people who might not even be practicing would be interested to watch, because they're like, everyone will find that weird. Like, even the guy in the club will be like, why is a mosque doing that? Also practicing people, it brings the generality. And there's specific details. Mosque invited me to an event with a DJ and dancing. Like, I've put specific details, right? The specific part I forgot to mention is in the details, right? By the way, this could have been better instead of saying 100k if I said like 103k. Like, sometimes just adding that small little thing, it really goes a very long way. Look at this video. West London brothers build #1 luxury air freshener brand. I put West London because there's relevancy there, because I know people from West London are gonna, because we talked about West London in the podcast as well, are gonna be like, right, West London, okay, cool. Like, let me watch that. Okay, build #1 luxury air freshener brand. And by the way, London's there, so it doesn't alienate the rest. You get the point, right? And then there's details, like air freshener brand, right? It's not too general. By the way, you might find that the direction that the channel takes is going to be a little bit more specific moving onwards, because we're going to be focusing on purely just business and deen, right? In the context of providing solutions for Muslims who want to make money, right? So deen advice in the context of a person who's an entrepreneur, right? Helping to make sure they got their deen right. And also business advice, but specifically even the business advice is in the context of people that want to make money from selling courses online on the back of social media organic marketing. So if you go through this, you'll see, right? Look at this thumbnail, I get girls married, right? Isn't that shocking? But that's also what? It's also relevant. Okay, sisters thinking, I'm a girl, I want to get married. Brothers thinking, wait, maybe he's got a girl for me, I want to get married, right? How I made 101k. By the way, look, I put the one there intentionally. He made more than 101k in 8 months. He made more than 101k, but I put the one there because that little specific detail, it just goes that extra mile. In 8 months, coding my own marriage app. So again, the generality is there for the people that want to make money, but the specificity is there for the tech people that will think, oh, okay, cool, maybe if I'm making an app, this could benefit me, right? So look, I've given you a couple of examples. I might even cut some of this out because I think maybe the examples are a bit too much. So you get the point, right? That's how you make a title that grabs people's attention. In terms of the intro for the video, and again, I'm talking to people that want to make money online, not people who want to become famous. ways, because sometimes we use the best practices of these like YouTubers that are just making money, that are just getting views and they're getting millions of views. But bro, they're not making that type of money. Do you understand? So how do you create an intro that grabs the attention for the person in the context of marketing? Well, the first thing you do is that you confirm that you're going to give to them what you said in the title. Because people talk about clickbait. Clickbait is not bad. It's just bad that when it's not true, right? It's just bad when it's not true. So you've obviously clickbaited them, right? You've baited the click, right? Now you want to tell them, by the way, I'm going to give you that. Like you'll get it, right? So for example, in this, if I had a title saying, listen, if you're a Muslim, I'm going to show you how to make 7 figures from your course online. In the video, I'm going to say, in this video, I'm going to show you brothers how to make 7 figures online, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so you want to affirm it and tell them what they're going to get. Maybe sprinkle in a couple other things. The second thing you do is that you qualify yourself and you introduce yourself. And you introduce yourself every time. Something that I didn't used to do, and I've just realized how much I need to do this, and it's been working for me ever since I've started doing it, is that, you know, don't assume that everyone who's been watching your channel, who watches your video already knows who you are, knows what you do, or that they remember. They may need to be reminded. So you want to remind them every time, and you remind them who you are in the context of what you're about to deliver to them. So there's many things I can say about myself, right? You know, I'm a student of knowledge, I've done this, I've done that, da'wah, I built this business, blah, blah, blah. But this video is about how to hook people in for YouTube videos. So I'm going to tell you, I got 58 million views, brother. Do you understand? So I know what I'm talking about. I actually fully know what I'm talking. You can take that from me. Got 320,000 plus subscribers. By the way, would have been more, but I had 2 channels that got locked off and got shut down, right? So I actually know what I'm talking about. So I will qualify myself like I did at the beginning of this video, right? And then you told them, because you want them to stay to the end, say, look, and if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you X. And that's probably where your CTA, your call to action is going to be. You're going to send people to a lead magnet, to a VSL or something. So you connect it all together and you say, look, so for example, if I was a Muslim PT, right, I was making videos about if Muslims should be fat. So I'm saying, in this video, I'm going to discuss whether Muslims should be fat. Okay. By the way, I am the Muslim PT. Guess what? I used to be skinny and fat. Doesn't even make sense, but trust me, I used to be skinny and fat, and I can show you a couple pictures. And since then, I've helped Muslims lose weight like crazy. And by the way, I also studied the deen and memorized the Quran, just to qualify the fact that he's talking about something from an Islamic perspective, right? He's not some ignorant guy talking. By the way, if you watch all the way to the end of this video, I'm going to give you access to a video that I've done where I show you how you can lose weight whilst eating cookies and donuts. By the way, all of this is true. The guy actually did this, right? So I'm saying all of that will grab their attention, and also that little thing at the end will keep their attention enough to keep them there until the end of the video. Do you understand? So if you can do all of that, inshallah ta'ala, now you just have to make sure that you focus on the most important thing after you've done these first 2 things, which is actually make sure that you give them value. Because bruv, if you got their attention and they stayed and you didn't give them value, they will hate you because you've taken their time. And in their mind, they've associated with you a lie and deception, and they will think that you are not worthy of their time. Do you understand? So with that said, I promised you that if you stay with me to the end, I'm going to show you how you can get access to our 7-figure strategy to grow your social media course, right? Or your coaching service. On the 23rd of this month, on Sunday, inshallah ta'ala, I'm going to be doing an event. It's going to be the biggest event for Muslim entrepreneurs online, inshallah ta'ala. And at this event, I'm going to reveal my 7 strategies of how I grew our businesses, our courses to 3 million plus, inshallah ta'ala. I'm going to share it with you on that night. Go to the link below and just register. It's absolutely free. Just make sure you register and make sure you save the date. Mark it in your calendar. With that said, Assalamu alaikum, peace.